Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So in the last video, I talked about how God designed nature to make sure that people who don't live by universal pinpoint and moral precision are inferior to those who are, and they get overpowered by God's Spirit. And the only way to be the top martial arts ever possible, right, was to obey God. And that's how I became the top martial arts ever possible. Okay. And there was no way to do it their way with their tricks and occult thinking and psychology, what have you. In this video, we're going to talk about Dionysus. In the next video, we're going to talk about females and where males and females go wrong in dating, and because these are huge parts of the story. So in order to understand my story, you have to look at it at the same time as you understand these ideas, as you're thinking about these ideas from time to time. Okay, in the next video, we're going to talk about how these ideas affected the process of looking back at what happened to me, okay, and coming to conclusions in regards to who was right and who was wrong to what degree and what have you. Okay, so Dionysus is a deity of grapes, the harvest, rapes, right? The word rapes is in the word grapes, right? Ritual madness, which involves rape, right? He's considered a young Zeus. He's a deity of the theater and religious ecstasy, which also goes back to the theater of war and why there's so much rape in war and why it's encouraged, okay? As you see the different depictions of Dionysus, some look more like Zeus, but they look like his brother or something. It has to do with who Zeus is related to. Zeus is related to people who look like a young Dionysus. Zeus is related to people who look like an older Dionysus, and there's a bit of those rapists in him. Zeus is like a combination of a bunch of rapists where they agree that there should be an evil and despicable rape by deception order that includes forcible rapes to complement their process of rape by coercion and rape by deception. Tricking people into thinking a certain way with the design of the system, with countless people in social clubs and secret societies helping you out, the law enforcement maintaining certain social norms, military, what have you. Okay, educational institutions, even martial arts schools have been helping them maintain a certain sentiment in society, certain moods, behaviors, certain ways of thinking, certain states of being. Okay, so it's important to note that Dionysus is a deity specifically, basically first and foremost, of rape in regards to and how it relates to ritual madness. So ritual madness derive rape. Now it's called ritual madness, okay, not ritual theft, though it involves theft. That's important to note. Okay, so perhaps at the core of him is ritual madness more than rape. But rape is a huge part of it, so one could easily say that rape is at the core of it. Zeus is a deity of rape first and foremost, and trying to force people to do things a certain way so that he can rape all these people he raped. And all these countless stories of rape that involve other deities that are connected to Zeus, that are part of his DNA, part of his spirit, because Pan means all for all the Greco-Roman deities, and Zeus is one of the Greco-Roman deities, and he's the head of the Greco-Roman pantheon, of the Greco-Roman order. And people like Lady Justice are said to, only apply justice relative to Zeus being in charge, relative to maintaining the quote-unquote proper order. And the word proper is a play on words for rape as well, right? The O can be substituted for the A, right? Interchangeable vowels, magic spells, Circe and Hecate, and on, Hera and, Athena, they're all witches, right? Some of them are even referred to as deities of witchcraft, like Hecate and Circe, okay? And Circe is where it's a play on words for kirk, where we get the word church and the word circle, and the circle around the pentagram and a ring of thieves, okay? You have other ideas like that have to do with of people who are having sex with each other, like a ring of lovers. I forgot what this word is. It's like, this phrase, but you get what I'm saying, okay? Lover's triangle or something like this. Okay. So when we look at the ritual madness, what expressions do we commonly have? That's some of the evidence we have, right? We have people who say, sure he will. Yeah, sure he will. You're like, I don't know. No, sure he will. And just sign that, and they kind of push you into things that you don't want to do. Okay? And the person's in a state of madness. Why would you do that to someone? Because you think that pursuing ill-gotten gains, right, magically is better than being righteous. So what happens if you don't truly believe and live that righteousness is greater than wealth? What happens? What happens is that you go fucking insane. Okay? The word sanity is a play on words for at why sin. At why should I sin? That's fucking stupid. I'd rather die. I'd rather carry my cross. I'd rather go out like Braveheart or Shaka Zulu or Bruce Lee in Chinese Connection. Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. Why sin? That's sanity. If you start letting the devil fear you, you start letting the devil make you afraid instead of being afraid of God and what happens if you sin, then you start going crazy. And you see that in the Bible, right? In Revelation, where it says they became deluded from following the devil and accepting the mark of the beast. The word being used is deluded. Look up Revelation and deluded. They deluded those who accepted the mark of the beast. The maddening wine of the adulteries of the prostitute, who's a symbol of a city, is a symbol of an unruly wife who sleeps around, because her husband is at war or because she doesn't want to be a martyr with her husband. It's the symbol of the unruly woman who betrayed Nimrod, right? Nimrod founded Babylon, and the prostitute symbolizes the city having gone astray, maybe his descendants, in the ones who are in Babylon, not from Cush, because Ham begot Cush, Cush begot Nimrod. And it says, look to the quarry from which you were cut. Okay? Look to the source of Nimrod, which was Ham and Cush. But because the whole world goes astray, including Ham and Cush, it's just me, right? That's why there's a prophecy against Cush in Isaiah or something. Okay. So again, going back to Dionysus, for those of you who don't want to hear about the Bible, or maybe you're confused, you have any questions about that, ask me. I can easily clear it up. I've been, reading the Bible for many years now. As the main expert in spiritual matters, as the top martial artist ever. It's called the spirit, to spear something, right? Power, pow, ear, spiritual power, right? The sword of Scripture, not the trowel, not the church or the or the book, but the sword of Scripture. In the beginning was the Word, before the Torah, before the Bible, before the Quran, before Abraham was the Word, before Abraham I am. Okay, so back to ritual madness. So you get these people, right? Think about a rich, arrogant female. She parks her Mercedes in front of an expensive restaurant. She goes, I should be on the list here. And she shows no politeness, no sense. She's just reckless and selfish and so self-centered, so deluded, so immature, but she acts like she's mature. She's like, I'm important. I'm on the list. Now, can I get my table now? He's like, sure, man, sure. Just give me a minute. No, I want it now. And she's just demanding. That's part of ritual madness. Think about some arrogant English person, no offense to the English, right? He's like, yes, well, who are you? Who the fuck are you? Come on, man. That's part of ritual madness. Why? Because they've committed to immorality, and they've taken on a personality and a path and a way and a state of immorality. The word morality is a play on words for more reality. It's the two words being scrunched together. That's one of the applications of wordplay, and you must use the boundaries of righteousness and justice. Does it make sense? Well, they've done studies where they found that moral intensity increases sound judgment. The more you're in a fugue-like state, the more you have bad judgment. So as we look at the forms of Dionysus as opposed to my form before they edited my pictures, they look like reckless people, right? One of them's kind of fat and sloppy. One is skinny and looks like the false image of Christ, right? And they seek to take control. Okay, they're at the center of the ritual, at the center of the cult. And they're like, hey, do it my way. Dance to my tune. Play a flute. Everyone dance. Drink a bunch of wine, right? And they go crazy, right? So they pull the drapes, which have the word rapes in it. And they drink wine from grapes, and there are rapes. Okay? It's so commonly associated with rape, that kind of reckless thinking and that drinking, that there are laws against having sex with a woman if she's too intoxicated because of her state of mind, which goes back to organized rape by deception. Once they slip into that sinful state of mind, now they're pursuing the wicked man and his blood money and his fancy wine and his fancy clothes and his car, and they buy her fancy purse instead of pursuing righteousness, so she's made insane. That's why the word ritual is a play on words for ritual and right you lay, and you lay, right? So you're willing to spread your legs for that dog, right? And the white man historically, so to speak, right? The clan, the fraternities, the general public in American history, they would say, stay away from the white girls. Why? Because they're trying to trick them to only have sex with white people according to their pecking order. Okay, as they're raping the slaves, as they're raping black people with impunity, and people who are natives and Hispanic and what have you, okay, they're saying stay away from the white girls. You see what I'm saying? And why is that? Well, because whites, once they take on that identity of white, that flesh-based identity, okay, is a play on words for why set, and black is a play on words for block and be lack. They don't want you to have the things that you have. Excuse me, hold that too. They don't want you to have the things that you need to get the attractive woman, even if she's from your own race. And what happened over time, these people were more shaped like Dionysus and Pan and their various forms, started stealing attractive women with nice breasts and nice butt like you get from the martial art order in Africa, and their women started being shaped more like that with the brain of the oppressor. Now, I'm not being racist here. These are the facts. If you disagree or think it's racist, please put in the comments. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's decide where the line is, and if you really think I've crossed it, let's come to that conclusion in a sound and logical and scientific way. Okay. So over time, their women start thinking more like Zeus, and they start pursuing that which is more from Zeus, which goes back to the family tree. And even Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Daniel was referred to as a tree. And in the tree was the serpent, the ancient serpent, the devil. Okay, so it's that family tree, that lineage. Some people, quote unquote, royal line. And even the word royal, it's a play on words for or, why, lay. Okay, or lay. Royal, or lay. And then there's heaven's mandate, and candidate, can die date, can ID date, and primate. And of course you get the word tri, T-R-I instead of T-R-Y, scrambled into the word primate. Primitive thinking. Primate, vi. It's a play on words for that. Remember, interchangeable vowels, vowel, L, alpha, alphabet. Even the one, like the L, is shaped like a phallic symbol, okay, like a knife or sword, a spear, or a penis. Believe it or not, that's part of it. It's also shaped like a pole, where they put poles like obelisks in front of the White House and what have you. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I've done that particular research, to represent sexual control, patriarchal line-based sexual control. Not some attractive white women sleeping with whoever she wants, but gays and straight white people and Jews telling people who to date and giving them their standards. Say, I want you to say ew to Jesus. Say ew, a black guy to him. And they go, ew. They say it directly to him, and they get them to do it indirectly using psychology, using methods of suggestion. Like you hear these magicians, it's just basic psychology, really, suggesting something. Hey, I want you, go ahead and talk to her, But there's more levels to it than that. Okay? You don't want to date one of those guys. It slips into your subconscious. A magic spell. Going back to when you had sex, you said, well, I accidentally put my dick in her and I spilled some semen in her pussy. It actually connects to that. A dizzy spell. A spell. You see what I'm saying? And when she had sex, right, women have, the broom is like a phallic symbol. It's similar to a dildo, excuse my French, strap on. And, of course, they're concerned with their orgasm. They're not concerned with dating a man of character. They want to have an orgasm. They want to be provided for. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say this, put this out there. Brace yourself. I've made females orgasm before. I'm not saying this because magically I don't know how. I do know how. And I don't give the first fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm 6'4", I'm black. You think I'm fucking not well hung? I am. But that doesn't fucking matter. You see what I'm saying? That does not matter. You don't date fucking Lex Luthor because you think he's better than bad and he can provide for you. That's fucking sick. That's being ritually ill. And you don't date his first, second, third, fourth, fifth in command neither. The Bible says when a ruler listens to evil people, all of his officials become wicked from the bottom to the top. No servant can be greater. Matthew 10. The head of the household has been called Beelzebul. How much more the members of his house? So as you see this thing, it should be fucking clear to you that females, especially in a technology run society, a brain hacking society, a gang stalking society, a military grade psychology and technologies that are military grade that are used for behavioral control. Okay, a society full of these things. They should not be relying on their fucking emotions and their sense of who to date, especially they're attractive. Let's say you have a town like Morgan Hill and say it has 40,000 people. There might be, we'll say 20 attractive women who are single. Just 20. How hard do you think it is for the government with all their secret societies, all their personnel, all their law enforcement, right, while they're letting crime run rampant, to zoom in on them and determine who they find a fucking attractive with their remote mind control? Now, that sounds paranoid. You sound like a fucking idiot if you think you should be prepared for that. If you went to war and you said, hey, they might drone strike me, and someone said, hey, you're fucking paranoid, pal. No, that's part of war. And part of social control is them using the technologies at their disposal. Imagine some stupid fuck, some arrogant prick saying, oh, no, well, it's fucking retarded. Yes, you should consider that. And yes, even if that was not the case, they should still never reject Jesus, heaven's mandate. They should still use a universal scale. Now see the video I made before this, and see my Proof I'm Christ playlist, and notice they don't want to go point by point, and they have no viable counterargument. If someone said to a priest that it's wrong to rape a kid in church, and he has no viable counterargument, he can say, well, I can't prove it, but I'm going to assume that you're wrong, and I'm going to do it anyway. So when it comes to right and wrong, if you have no viable counterargument for what is wrong, okay, how are you going to then do it anyway? You see what I'm saying? That's called being ritually fucking insane. And there's a reason why it's called ritual madness, because quite often they get mad, and quite often the righteous person swells up with righteous indignation, like John the Baptist, Stephen the Martyr, Jesus and the money lenders, Isaiah, and on and on and on. And they get mad. And the word mad is damn scroll backwards. They damn you to fucking hell and your offspring. Think about it.